Someone recently asked me why I have a YouTube channel, and I thought about it for a while, so I thought I'd give an answer in this video. Don't turn away, because it starts right now. Hey! Howdy! Thanks for learning about MS with me, Boster. I'm the founder of the Boster Center for MS, where we care for families impacted by MS from around the globe. In this video, I wanted to share with you why I made this channel and sort of the journey that I've been on over the last 5 or 6 years. So if we rewind time, I had no involvement whatsoever in social media. I had no personal social media experience whatsoever. I didn't really know what Twitter was, or I didn't surf YouTube or what have you. And I was an academic neurologist doing what I thought I was supposed to do. And I was required to write research papers. So I was required to publish a certain number of papers every year as part of my position in academics. And my chairman used to say all the time,
if you didn't write it, then you didn't do it.
As if to say that the only thing that mattered was publications. And so I published. And I wrote these highfalutin scientific papers that probably 18 people totally loved and enjoyed reading, and the vast majority of the world never saw. And in specific, I noticed that no single human being that I took care of, no family with MS ever read what I wrote, which kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Fast forward to my next career change, and I'm running a giant healthcare systems MS and immunology. And it dawned on me as I was running my clinics that every single human in clinic had Facebook. Every single person, whether they were 80 or 18, everybody had social media on their phone. And I started to think about my goals as I developed that clinic. And I wanted to impact patients' lives. I wanted to up their game. I wanted to energize them and empower them and educate them to live their best life despite having MS. And I was only seeing them in clinic maximum 4 times a year, every 3 months, maximum. Now, the national average is half that. It's twice a year. So one could say, oh, good job, Dr. B, you're seeing patients twice as often. But I wouldn't say that. If I see you 4 times a year, that means there's 361 days in the year that you still have MS, and I've done nothing to try to help you. And when you see me in clinic might not be the best time for you. That might be a stressful moment. That might not be the best time for you to receive information. Now think about this. If I was to teach you the game of chess, a game that I love very much, and I met with you for a half an hour every 3 months, you would suck at chess. You would not be very good at chess, because that's not enough education. That's not enough learning to really become proficient at chess. And I think it's kind of the same thing with a chronic condition like multiple sclerosis. So social media suddenly became this potential option for me where maybe I could provide education through social media that would then be palatable and then be something that someone could look at when they chose to. And so I started to mess around with Twitter and mess around with Facebook, and I literally had to look up like what they were and how they worked because I didn't know very much about them. And then one day I was in clinic and a patient didn't show up. So I had a half an hour in front of me with nothing to do, and normally I would go to my office and get some paperwork done. But for some reason that day, I turned my phone on, held it in my hand, and I recorded a couple minutes of me discussing the multiple sclerosis severity score. It was my very first YouTube video, I think like 2015-ish, and I uploaded it into the interwebs, and there I went. And it was fun. And so for a while, periodically, when I had a no-show in clinic, I would just wax poetic on my phone, and then I would post it on social media. I would post it on YouTube. Well, I started to realize that depending on how I posted it determined whether or not people were able to see it. And I started to study YouTube. So instead of going home at night and reading about only MS, now I was reading about MS and how do you be successful on YouTube. And over the subsequent years, I started to learn about videography. So I learned that, hey, my sound stinks, it's really bad. And oh, the lighting is awful. I learned a bunch of stuff, or at least I hope I learned a bunch of stuff. If you fast forward to now, it's May 2021, and I have 30,000 subscribers. And I'm so touched by that. I'm so honored that people are digging what I'm putting out, and it just makes me feel really, really good. And so to all of you folks that have been on this journey with me, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you, because this is something that we've been doing together. Some of you who have followed this channel or met me in clinic know my backstory. I decided to become an MS doctor when I was 12 years old. And it wasn't because my Uncle Mark had MS. He had MS from my earliest childhood memory. I went to my grandma's house, and my uncle was in the other room watching TV in his wheelchair. And my mom and grandma were sitting at the kitchen table, and they were holding hands, and they were crying. And they were crying because they were frustrated because they couldn't get a hold of his doctor. And they were scared and alone. And this predates the use of the interwebs. This predates the involvement of the various MS societies that do patient awareness and education. And they were scared and they didn't know what to do. And I told my mother that I would learn to do it better. I didn't know what I was telling her. I didn't know that I would go to school for 27 grades or that I'd have to learn all these big, long, fancy words. I just knew that nobody should make my mom and grandma that sad, and nobody should ever make a family feel that alone and scared. And so I had this really kind of unusual course. I went to college saying I want to be an MS doc, and I pursued that very directly. It's been kind of a mission of mine. And I feel that YouTube helps me in that goal. You know, through YouTube, I've been able to reach families and I hope impact lives for the better with folks I'll never ever meet. My uncle passed away a couple years ago, and his care partners, my pop and my nini, they've passed away too. And I can't help them. But I want to pay it forward, and I want to help your family. And I really feel like YouTube is a really cool way to do that. It fills a bucket for me emotionally. So that's my answer as to why I have this YouTube channel. And if you've been following along, I'm so grateful. And if this is the first time that you're watching me, howdy. It's really, really nice to meet you. My name's Aaron Boster, and I'm really, really glad that you were willing to learn about MS with me. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep putting out videos every Monday. And as long as you guys keep watching them, I'll keep making them. So thank you again. And as always, this is Aaron Boster saying be safe and take care.